All right. Welcome, everybody, for joining us here on the state of local marketing, local businesses, and as digital service agencies here in our space. Today, we're coming together as agencies and trainers. We've got a small group of us here that are able to jump on the call and share this out with you. We wanted to do this because we want to talk about how important your services and your guidance is specifically to your customers and in your local area, and why it's more important now than ever that you're out there and actually working in your digital agency, and the opportunity that this current situation is presented for you. And while some businesses have shut down, some are still operating normally with some different things in place. Others are actually thriving and seeing more business. And then there's many others that are working in skeleton or minimal crews that are out there. And each industry and each niche is very, very different. So, for example, for me, I'm talking with an automotive customer of mine where they're actually doing, drop-offs and pickups. And they're setting out text messaging to say, hey, we're still here, and we can pick up your car and service it. Or maybe the local mom and pop restaurant that's asking for like GoFundMe type money to be able to save their business. So our jobs and what we do as entrepreneurs and as digital agencies that are servicing our local area is our job to keep these businesses in business by guidance and consulting. And that's why we're doing this call today. And this is why we're doing this stream, why we're posting this as many groups as we can get it out to, because we're here to help them survive. Don't let them cut the cord. Reach out to them, be proactive, find new businesses that you know are open in your area that you can reach out to virtually and help them survive and get going and start to be creative. And we're going to give you guys some creative ideas and some things you can do to be out there, prospect, reach out and help give some hope to those businesses and clients. You can do pickup and delivery, right? We also have the ability for restaurants to do delivery service or curbside. But then there's these other businesses that may have completely shut down altogether, but they don't necessarily need to. Like the fitness industry, whether it's yoga or personal training, things like that, they can move to a more digital presence and actually be doing very, very similar things. And they may not get 100% of the revenue that they're looking for, what they got last month, but they could at least get 60, 70, maybe 80% of it to help survive and then come back and thriving. Because we are going to emerge from this with a more digital and more virtual economy when we come on the backside of this, hopefully in the near future, but God forbid we don't, we're going to have to adapt to that. So our goal as digital agencies and as trainers and as people in this industry are to help lead by example. And that's what we're doing today. Interact and get some free advertising on social media, right? Do what we're doing right now. Host it up. Talk to the local business owners or work with local business owners to host these little virtual meetings and things like that to get going. Make videos with the owners. You don't have to do that in person. Have them send that to you so you're able to go. And then just reach out. Be personable. You don't have to be perfect, right? Imperfect action moves you forward. Then broadcast that out. Email, SMS, all that good stuff. But get them to do something with their customers, especially since you now have a large captive audience in the local area on social media. I don't care where you're at in the world right now. You're affected by this. So most of us are in the United States that are on this call. Guys, you can be any country, any state, and any local city all have different things that they're restricted on right now. So host something that's virtual, a happy hour, a trivia night, just a training on how to do or understand what you do for your clients. You guys have that ability to go out there and use all that as a benefit for yourself. So what we're doing today with the state of local marketing and this industry address and reaching out to the digital service agencies that you guys are, and then posting this and getting the recording out there, is we want to help you as digital agencies help your customers, right? We only survive, you guys only survive if the local businesses survive. So we want to get across that, what we're seeing in the market from different perspectives, from guys that have different products and services and what they offer differently into the local market. And while we're lucky to be able to work 100% remotely if we'd like to, our businesses are going to need customers to survive, and we need to teach them and educate them on how to adapt or how to work in the current situation here, because customers at the end of the day are still searching for them. So now's the time to go out there and maybe earn some new customers, right? That's what we're doing in my agency right now. We had 18 new prospects and new customers come in the last 48 hours alone for our business because of what we're doing. We're getting creative. We're creating incentives for them to work with us. We're getting delayed payment processing plans, as well as some trial services, or even just some good faith effort to give them a hug and let them know that we're here to help. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. This isn't going to be 100% fun. This isn't going to be the easiest thing in the world. And you're going to talk to some people that are really hurting right now. But it's about surviving and then coming out of this thriving. So today I brought 4 of really my good friends that I talk to on an almost daily basis. And they're fellow marketers that are going to come on and they're going to actually tell you what they're doing in their agency right now and with their own businesses, and maybe help spark some hope and some ideas in your mind of what you can be doing, because what some of them are doing, I actually took and put into my agency and my business as well, to include the first one here, which is going to be Nick Ponte from Offline Charts, where he's going to be talking about prospecting in our current market and what you can do to go out there and reach out to those local business owners and show them that you're in the area. And maybe when we come out of this, have earned a couple of dozen new potential clients. So with that being said, Nick, I'm going to hand it over to you. We're going to kick this call off.
Cool. Thanks for having me. And so we've been doing a lot of prospecting, and it's been interesting to say the least. And, I have a local marketing agency here on the island of Maui, and a lot of businesses were in panic with the current situation, the current, state of the market. And like Jeff said, it's really all about adapting for what's going on. And I don't know about you guys, but a lot of my friends, a lot of my family, they're all kind of taking this quarantine time off. They're at home, they're watching lots of Netflix, lots of Amazon Prime. And I personally feel like I've never been busier. And I think the reason of that is just because we've had to adapt. We've had to look for ways to get creative and to change things, because a lot of our ongoing customers right now, sure, they reached out, they wanted to cancel. They wanted to cancel ongoing services like SEO. If you run any ads, we do a lot of that, right? So we had a lot of people reaching out, especially because we're in Maui. We're in a really tourist heavy market where, our government shut down basically all tourism. So everything that was coming into our economy money wise is basically cut off, right? So a lot of our customers are surf lessons, kayak tours, anything that really evolves around the tourism industry. And we had to come up with ways, instead of canceling, and this is the number one thing that I want to share, instead of canceling, is really to find ways to keep those customers, but not lose them completely. So what we've been doing is we've been pausing rather than canceling, offering to move their payment out a month or even 2 months if it gets to that point, but we start with 30 days. And another couple of instances, we have offered to keep services going, just kind of on the house, to get some goodwill out there. And that's really what I'm gonna touch on with our prospecting, because it's been interesting. But that's really what we've been focusing on, is putting goodwill out there, because these businesses, they're struggling. They're our customers, and we're in it for the long haul. We want to come out of this, and I think we all want to come out of this with as many of our customers still on board with us as possible. And we don't want to be coming out in sort of a light where, you weren't trying to help them, because I can guarantee you that, what's going on right now, things are going to be remembered with how you reacted to this situation. So we've been, certain customers, we have been just fulfilling on the house, just as a show of good faith and goodwill. And, the response to that has been, I think it's been great. People have been very appreciative. So I would encourage anybody to, instead of just immediately canceling, go to, kind of the pause, or move things out a little further, because that's the knee-jerk reaction, to cancel. So with a lot of people working from home, what we're doing is we are prospecting. We're still prospecting. We're just doing it in a new, creative way. So I'm going to share my screen really quick. If Brian, do you think you can pull that up for me? Cool. So one more time.
I'm trying. Is it not showing, Nick? Do you see it?
I don't see it yet. No. There we go. Cool.
We're getting some bandwidth issues.
No worries. I'm sure a lot of people are streaming right now, right? So I'm not surprised that there's some lag going on. But I want to keep it kind of quick just to share some of the things that we're doing, because we have a lot of people working from home, looking to work from home, or looking to just find new ways to prospect. So what we're doing is we are building these community resource type websites, right? This is a website that we built called We Deliver Maui. And you can see at the top of the page, this is a map of where I live on Maui. And all these pins are businesses. These are all businesses that we've been reaching out to and prospecting to. And basically, each one of them has listings, right? We give each business a listing, and we let them know that we're building this community resource in our area to let the public know that these restaurants are still either open, doing takeout, doing delivery, or they have some sort of curbside service available. And the reason we're doing that is because, I don't know about you guys, but about 1 or 2 weeks in right now, I'm like almost all the way through all of my quarantine rations. So it's really, I'm really kind of eyeballing like all of my favorite restaurants, like who's open, who's open, who can I order from, who can I get food from? So we see this as an opportunity to not only help restaurants, but also people in the community. So we're trying to get that social interaction. We're trying to get that social engagement going. And, oddly enough, when we're reaching out to these restaurants and we're telling them, hey, we're starting this community resource in our area, letting the public know that we have these restaurants that are open. Are you guys open? And if you are, what are you doing? We'd like to give you a free listing on our site. So our response rate to that has been incredible. The people that we've been able to get in touch with right now are, it's incredible because the business owners are in their restaurants right now. Typically, they're not there. Typically, it's difficult to get a hold of the decision maker or the person that actually could make the choices whether or not these businesses could do marketing, but they're in there right now and they're doing a lot of the work that is done to the day-to-day. So we have pretty much like an 80 to 90% rate of getting in touch with the decision maker immediately on the first call and setting an appointment to talk about how we can help them increase their exposure for different types of marketing. So I guess one of the key takeaways from this is, there are different industries, there are different niches that are still trying to run and they need help. And the restaurant industry, the dining industry in particular, that's one of them, right? They can use all the help they can get because their doors are basically closed for dining. So any help they can get to put the word out there that they do takeout, delivery, these types of things, this is going to get them exposure. And their response to that has been crazy. It's been awesome. Now, one thing I want to share is that originally when we first started doing this, we were prospecting and we were kind of doing the normal thing, trying to like sell SEO and sell ads and do those types of things, right? Because we're marketers and we're losing customers. And I have to be honest, I want to share that because that's not what people were wanting to do right now. People aren't trying to buy high-tiered things that we were selling before. Things are changing, right? So we really had to shift. And what we did was we just started giving everything away. We're looking for the long-term relationship, as I said. We're getting emails to all the decision makers. We're putting them on email lists, and we're sending them information how they can do things to bootstrap their exposure. And honestly, when you do it that way, you don't try to sell them. You just share information. This indirect type of selling thing happens where they're like, hey, can you help me with this? Can you do this for me? And what we've been seeing is that we don't have to sell. We just have to put the goodwill out there. And with that, we have a couple of things happen, right? We have this great resource. I'm going to share just a quick screenshot of how like the community came together on this one post, right? This is a post Tom put in the like a Maui moms group. Look how long this post is. And that was in like the first overnight posting. Like immediately, we just asked like, does anybody know any businesses that are still open? Do you have any information about them? Please submit their listings to our website. And we put the link on the website or on the post. And then people just started posting like wildfire below that, sharing all the details about all their favorite businesses, right? It's crazy. From that, we started getting people that were just submitting listings on their own to our website because they're business owners. They want the exposure. They know what we're doing. They see the value in what we're doing here. Again, these are businesses that I'm normally going to all the time, eating lunch at, eating dinner at, just kind of wondering, how can I get in front of these business owners? How can I get their attention? I would really love to work with them. Typically, I wouldn't be able to get in front of them. Not like this, So I think that, out of this situation that's happening, there's a lot of opportunity. And I don't want it to sound like, being like greedy or anything like that, because that's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to give people the idea that, if you haven't been building something right now or previously, and you're in the current situation right now where you don't have an online business or something going for you, right now is the best time to start doing that. Right now is the best time to start building and growing something, because there is opportunity with the market, with the current situation. There's opportunity to help. I think as marketers, one of the most important things for us is really just finding ways to solve problems, right, guys? Like solving problems is what we get paid for. So the more problems that are out there, like the more opportunity we have to solve those problems for people. Most of us, all of us, probably know more than these business owners when it comes to this stuff. Just like, even if you're a newbie and you're just getting into this, you've only seen any of our information that we've shared for like a day or two, you probably know most or more than the average business owner. So, it's really about getting that out there, getting that information out there and offering to help. And then people have seen this, like people that I know, just in the community reaching out to me like, hey, what's that website that you guys created for the community? Like, just it, like all this goodwill's going around, right? It's crazy. So, I'm training a friend right now to help me with this. He's helped me to like grow it a little more. We're building this list of business owners and decision makers. We're creating all this goodwill. And, when we get through this, we're going to have this opportunity to work with a lot more people much more closely.
Yeah, so, it's a great opportunity, Nick. I mean, you guys have done really, really well with this, especially because of the way you position it and the way you guys are helping with it. Joe, I know you've seen Nick do this for a little while. What do you think about kind of what he's doing and how things are going for him and his market?
I think it's really awesome because it's so unique, right? Right now, obviously, huge need. Everybody with their rations and their food is looking at the freezer, going, "Crap! I need to order some food." They're trying to figure out if they're going to order from local delivery, and it's exactly what local restaurants need. It's what they want. They're hyper focused, obviously, on takeout. And so I think it's great. I think it adds a ton of value to the community and builds a ton of goodwill. And that's what we should be looking to do right now. Build goodwill, right? Give more than we would ever give away for free, right? And then let people know that we're around to help when they need it.
Awesome. Brian, what do you think about with what Nick's going on with his?
No, I love it. Nick and I have spoken about it in depth recently with his directory site model and some of the things he's doing. What I'm going to talk about today kind of dovetails and plays off of it. So no, I'm definitely on board. I think Nick said it, this is your time to kind of build relationships and make inroads for the future. And I would agree. Don't think about it as a way to how much money I can make today, tomorrow, in the next 30 days, but take Nick's perspective, which is building that relationship. The money's going to follow. You'll make a little bit now, but the money will follow. So.
Yeah, you got people like, what do you say when you call it? You're just helping them out. Just tell them what you're doing. Hey, we're building a community website, right, Nick? Real quick.
And that lowers the barrier like so much. Anybody that's tried cold calling or walking in a business and all that stuff, like the response is so much different than it ever has been. Like the phone is your best friend because number one, everybody is using the phone, right? Like everybody's picking the phone up because it's their only method of communication, really, right? So you're getting these people like every time. Normally you can't do that. And the other thing that I want to mention too is that like we just got this $2 trillion stimulus bill, right? All these businesses that are going to get money, they're going to get cash flow into their business. What they're going to want to do with that business as we ride out of this thing is start figuring out how they can get back to market. So you building this goodwill, these relationships with these businesses, they're going to ask you to help them. And that would be a great time to actually start, talking about what other services you offer. If they're not already asking, right? If they're not already asking, a lot of them already are. But that would be a great time to start, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then that's a comment on your shirts. It's a perfect segue to you. Then how does this relate to what you're doing in your business and what you're seeing with Nick doing?
What I think is what Nick said that's really interesting, and I love this. It's absolutely genius because it's a public service, and that's great. But the thing that I realized that completely hit me, I thought we were going to slow down, but just like you guys, we have actually sped up in our agency, and the reason is you got all these entrepreneurs that are used to go in their business, in their restaurants, in their chiropractic office, in their real estate agency. They're so used to moving, and all of a sudden they can't. But they don't turn off just because they have to be at home. They still want to work. They still want to grow their business. So what's happening right now that we're seeing, and I know you're seeing it too because you mentioned it, is they're still wanting to do something because they have to continue to grow their business. And so they're sitting by the phones. They're picking the phone up and calling me. They're calling you guys. And I think that's what's so interesting right now is from an agency perspective, we have access that we've not had in a very long time to these business owners because they are looking for us, which is crazy, but they are. They're looking for us and because they're trying to get something done. And they're looking for people, especially like what Nick's doing, that are putting solutions in place that get them visibility to their audience, but also, sort of set them up to explode when they come out of this. Because I think a lot of really smart entrepreneurs out there that have brick and mortars, especially restaurants, are saying, this is our opportunity to be in front of people that we've never had access to before because they were so locked in with their favorite restaurant. They were so locked in over here, and now they're paying attention. And if we use this time, we may not make a whole lot of money right now, but it's setting us up for something that's going to be absolutely huge. So I think that's absolutely genius, Nick. I mean, I always love what you're doing, but like it's such a community service what you're setting up, and it's giving people access to something that they need. And most people out there are looking for this. Like I know personally right now, there's people in my community that are looking for that connection to the restaurants. Who's open? Who's delivering? What's going on out there? And so this is the portal into that, which is genius. And everybody that has an agency right now should be doing this. They should set it up. It doesn't take long, I know, to get this started. And then you just get on the phone, you start calling people, and it's a really easy connection. And businesses want to do this. So I love it.
Awesome. Yeah, and it's about providing value up front, right? So you guys want to learn a little bit more, Nick, go to offlinesharks.com. But he's here just to kind of tell you what he's doing in his business. But talk about providing value. I'm going to bring out Joe Troyer here in just a minute from Digital Triggers and Visible PPC. He's going to talk about providing value and building authority and landing clients based on what's going on in the current market. He's put together a really great presentation for you guys. So hand it over to you, Joe, and you can jump into what you've got going on down there in South Florida.
Awesome. So super excited to be here. Thank you so much, Jeff, for putting this together. Just wanted to publicly say thank you. This is an absolute awesome resource, and excited to be here and share with you. Really what I want to do is share kind of our perspective, and we have a little bit of a different perspective just because we do a lot of white label pay-per-click management for other agencies. So at any time, we could be working with like 100 dentists or 50 chiropractors or 100 personal injury attorneys. We manage about $3 million a month in Google ad spend alone. We deliver about 7,000 plus monthly leads via phone, and we've worked with thousands of agencies. And I just want to share our perspective in terms of what we're seeing from a much higher level. And really what I mean by that is I want to share with you guys kind of behind the scenes, right? We're able to see the intimate detail of literally dozens and dozens of highly successful agencies. And a lot of the people that you see here on the screen today, we're doing fulfillment for, and we're seeing what's happening in their agency directly versus right, you stuck at home during Corona and only having the viewpoint of your one agency. So just super, super excited to share that. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my screen. Let me do that. Share screen.
And then Brian just has to make it your primary, and we'll make it your primary. There you go. You're good.
How about that? Is that working, guys?
Seems to be.
Yep, we're good to go.
Joe, do you want it like this? Is this better? Or I can bring you back in, I think.
Whatever, man. Whatever's good.
Just go full screen. We should be good.
All right, hang on. Add to stream, full screen. Here goes. It's a big lag today. That's all.
All right, I'm going to put it in full screen mode so everybody can see. So first and foremost, I just wanted to share some wins with all of you guys because there's a lot of doom and gloom happening in the marketplace. You know, the media is going nuts right now, and rightfully so. It's a crazy world out there. So I wanted to share some wins and some positives because not everything is negative. So in the top left, I'm going to start. Right as Corona happened, we had a lot of freak out from our agency customers and their end customers, local businesses. And pretty quickly off the bat, one of our largest agencies that sells into dental, we got a phone call from them and they canceled, not today, but last Friday, just over a dozen locations they stopped running pay-per-click for. And I'm sure you guys can imagine like that's a lot of money. That's a lot of revenue that just completely stopped. Now they've came back, right? So this week they've come back and they're wanting to run emergency only types of campaigns. So know that that this is a process, right? It's like grief. Like we hear the news, it's like crap, right? We pull back, right? But then we start to deal with the situation and we start to readjust and we start to come to our senses and figure out a plan to move forward. And I think that this screenshot is just that, right? Here's how we're moving forward. It's with emergency treatment. And the dental agencies need our help now more than ever. Right below that, Heather on our team, she's an account manager. She said not a particular account, but this specific agency that we just spoke to said that all of their attorney clients are not pausing for COVID. All of them are just moving to phone and video consultations, right? So another great win. Not everybody's canceling, not everybody's pausing. And then right below that, plumbers are on fire right now. If you're looking for an opportunity to not only help people just like get past COVID, but really like grow their businesses and scale, plumbers are on fire right now. So you can see in the screenshot, I'll just highlight a couple things. Cost per lead or cost per conversion is down 24%, right? Conversion rates up 20%, and conversions are up 44%. So if you're looking for a great vertical that needs your help, right, definitely check out plumbers. And then in the middle, we have our own frontward-facing agency, right? Not invisible paper or not invisible PPC, a completely separate agency where we do just what we teach everybody to do in the marketplace. And we are doing really, really well setting appointments right now and setting sales appointments right off the bat, not even adding value first. And we'll talk about the other value and advanced campaigns that we're doing, but just quite literally, folks, cold calling, right? 13 appointments in 3 days, working severely part-time from just one person on our sales team here, David. In the top right then, 117 or 111% increase in conversions, 124% increase in conversion rate, and cost per conversion or cost per lead dropping by 28%. And lastly here, the last of the crazy stats and all the wins here, I wish this was my campaign, right? Google performance in the bottom right here, $289 in cost, $9,678 in revenue. So again, I bring this up to just share with you guys that it isn't all doom and gloom. There is lots of positives, even in the crazy market that we're in right now. And the reality is guys, we're in a pandemic, right? Like this is a market-wide, worldwide drop, and you can call it a regularity or abnormality. But at the end of the day, any irregularity or abnormality is always temporary. What we don't know is how long it's going to last, right? But in time, they all fix themselves. And I really believe that the agencies who last, who stick it out, the ones who lead, the ones that provide value, the ones that show leadership in their market, stand to gain all of the market share, right, of those who fail or give up during this temporary irregularity or abnormality. So I still see a huge need from in the entire marketplace almost of clients and businesses desperately needing my services and your services and everybody on this stream services, right? Everybody needs customers and they need cash flow so that they don't have to lay off their team. And we're talking with so many businesses, that's what it's about right now. It's about survival, and they're worried about their people, right? As unemployment rates go through the freaking roof. So I concentrate on Google. I always have. And the reason specifically, folks, that I focus on Google is because it just drives customers fast, right? You do a search, you find what you're looking for, you make a phone call, right? So it's not uncommon for us to convert at 20 to 30% from a search query, right, to go to the website and literally get a phone call. And the reason specifically that I go after PPC is that 80% of clicks are coming in, right, above the fold. And above the fold just simply means what you see before you scroll. So the reason, folks, that I'm such an avid believer in PPC, the reason that I'm now a co-owner in Visible PPC is because it's just necessary, right? The first 3 spots here are all pay-per-click. So 80% of the clicks are all going to PPC. So that's where I spend my. Let's talk real quick about what you guys need to do, just a couple words of caution here, and then I'm gonna walk through what we're doing in terms of prospecting. So first and foremost, guys, don't make rash decisions, don't panic. Understand that rash decisions can and will affect you forever. You really need to think about positioning yourself for success now. So I would look at, and what we've done at Invisible PPC and in our agency and in my own personal brand at Digital Triggers, is really looked at our plan. Where were we going in the next 6 to 12 months? And what can we do now to provide value and just speed up that plan, if anything, not slow it down? And I think one of the big things is just perspective, right? So the thing that I keep thinking about each and every day is to expect the best, prepare for the worst, and capitalize on what comes, right? We don't know what's gonna come. We don't know how long it's gonna last, but I absolutely love this quote. And I keep reminding myself of it every day. I think surviving in today's market is changed, right? Obviously, the pandemic has changed things big time. The market isn't the same as it was 30 days ago. And I really believe that now more than ever, whether you're talking to a business owner, whether you're talking to somebody at a business that will make a marketing decision, AKA giving you a yes or a no to your proposal, or just any of us, right? Now more than ever, people are only going to listen to what they care about, right? Nobody's got time for all the extra stuff that's happening, right? They only care about what they care about, right? They only want to listen to what they care about. So if you're going after a market, understand and figure out what the prospects are concerned about, what they care about, and what they need help with right now. And now more than ever, folks, I believe that you got to align your products and services to overcome your prospects' concerns, right? Nick talked just a little bit ago, and Nick has done a brilliant job of aligning his products and services with the directory site to overcome their prospects' concerns and to help them and to add value. Whatever you do, for the love of God, just please do me a favor and don't stop prospecting. Seeing way too much of this happening in the marketplace right now. You can get new customers. You can add value. You can set yourself up for success. Nick has shared that, and I'm going to be sharing how we're doing that as well. So we are still prospecting every single day, every single hour right now. We're actually working more than ever, busier than ever. I'd say that I'm really working like a 7-day shift and working, just a little bit less on Saturdays and Sundays. And I want to share what's working for us right now. So first and foremost, I think this analogy makes a lot of sense, right? Don't be tone deaf. I don't know about you guys, but I've gotten a lot of emails lately. I've got a lot of communications lately, and looking at them, I feel like people are tone deaf. And what I mean by that is they're not acknowledging what's happening in the world right now, and they're coming off as insensitive, right? They're coming off as like they just aren't listening. They're coming off as like, you scheduled this email to go out 6 months ago and you haven't updated it, and this isn't aligned with what's happening in the marketplace. So don't be tone deaf. If you're reaching out to somebody via phone, via email, via social. Acknowledge what's happening in the world and embrace it. Like, lean into it. Align your products and services to deal with what's happening and current concerns with COVID-19. So in terms of actually selling deals and closing deals, the biggest thing that we found right now is, number one, you can't ignore what's happening. You have to embrace it in your messaging. And number two is you have to deal with billing terms like never before. And what I mean by that is cash flow can be difficult right now for a lot of people. And a lot of people that do have the cash aren't wanting to give up the cash, right? Because they don't know how long this thing's gonna last. So think about how you can do things like, sign now and no payments for 90 days using a service like PayPal Bill Me Later or PayPal Credit, or sign now and you just drop your rate, right? And do half rate for 90 days, or sign now and do half rate for 90 days and you just drop the spec of what you're gonna do for the first 90 days. Okay, so maybe it just drops in half. So this has worked really, really big for us. We got a lot of prospects that are like, yeah, I'd like to talk to you about growing my business right now, but COVID-19 is nuts, and I know you guys aren't gonna be able to help me through it. By just literally attacking the two things and really paying attention to these two things in our messaging, we've booked a lot of sales appointments. Next up, again, I wanted to share our unique perspective, right? And so I want to share, out of the $3 million a month in Google ad spend that we manage, what verticals are currently doing well. So if I were you, I'd just take a quick screenshot of this slide. Plumbing, HVAC, restoration. Restoration's really, really big right now. A lot of restoration companies are now turning and they're doing disinfecting type of services. And the other thing about restoration is, like, if you have a flood, you have a fire, it's an emergency, right? Like, you're calling that restoration company even if the coronavirus is happening, right? Like, it's an emergency. So restoration companies are feeling like unscathed and untouched for the moment. Pool service, lawn service, pest control, these are all things that, like, they're not really coming into your house, and these are running routinely more like normal than almost any of the other businesses out there. Obviously, Nick hit on restaurants, takeout and delivery. That's not one that we see so well doing well, but that's just because we don't manage a lot of those campaigns. But I do know that restaurants are either thriving or literally dying right now. We're doing well with dental still. Doing really, really well with dental, but specifically emergency campaigns, right? So people that are in tooth pain right now and need a solution right now. Dentists are getting paid very, very well from insurance to actually run the emergency-based campaigns. The only problem that we're seeing with the dental emergency campaigns is just availability, right? Doctors or dentists are usually working on smaller shifts and smaller rotations than before, so just availability is a little sparse. We're still seeing garage door repairs doing really, really well as well. Again, kind of a service-based business, not coming in your home, similar to pool service, lawn service, and pest control. And then legal. Legal, we've seen is retaining, and stats overall are staying close to the same, at least in financial services and family-based legal. And we've seen a huge, huge surge in remote IT services. So we have a couple big remote IT companies that we manage pay-per-click for doing astronomically well, obviously because their in-house IT company or IT resources aren't able to keep up with what's happening with COVID-19 or aren't able to adapt and adjust. So here's what we're doing right now to lead with value. So we are prospecting directly and just booking sales appointments. We're also running campaigns with the kind of public service I call expert angle. And what we've done is we've created a COVID-19 survival guide. And I'm going to show that to you guys real quick so you guys can get a little understanding of what that looks like. You can see here, people are absolutely crushing it with this survival guide or emergency pack. So right here, you can see 27 appointments lined up for next week, just using this survival guide as a foot in the door. I'm gonna bring this up real quick so I can show you guys what this looks like. Feel free to use this as inspiration, right? To rip what you can. This is specifically for dental. So you're going to have to adjust. But we built this survival guide for dentist practices. And I'll just go through it real quick. So while you're closed, here are things that you need to do. Okay. And then once you reopen, here are things you need to do. Right. And then a checklist. And then at the end, a call to action. And this call to action is working really, really well. Because again, even the dentists that are closed, right? What are they thinking about right now? They're thinking about this. When the doors open back up, how the heck am I going to get new patients through the door? And so this call to action is working really well. And there's call to actions throughout the whole thing. Hey, you need help posting on social media, right? Like we can do this for you, right? You need help with Google Ads, we can do this for you. You need help posting on Facebook, we can do that for you, right? You need help with your Google My Business listing and updating hours of operations because you haven't updated it to coronavirus, or you haven't updated it because of coronavirus, we can help you. So there's lots and lots of opportunities to just lead in with value.
Yeah, there's a lot of here. That's really amazing, the stuff that you've got and how you guys are doing, and especially since a lot of people talk about the restaurants, but you guys are focusing on so many different other things that are really hugely important. And I've seen that with like the HVAC guys, the pool and pest guys, they are all still working. Brian, are you seeing that in your area, what you're doing as well?
I'm going to speak about it in a second, Jeff, but emergency services, I'm with Joe. Absolutely. I had a roof leak at my own house the other day. Roofer was out. They were extremely busy. Took them 2 or 3 days to even come out to my house. But home services, and there's a bunch of other niches that are on fire. Obviously, there are others that are completely shut down. So you got to be intelligent about it.
Yeah. Ben, what about you? What you're seeing with the home services niche or what, they're doing ads and Google stuff?
It's different. It's like, I think the most important thing is, as Joe was saying, don't be tone deaf. And a lot of our clients and the folks that wanted to be clients or that are running to us right now saying, hey, what do we do? That's a specific part of it is how do you communicate with the public? And when I get into what I'm going to talk about in a little bit, that's part of what I want to go with is how we're helping people to sort of transition into that. And when we help them with that, it's interesting how it sort of dovetails into actual business. But yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like everybody lost their platform all of a sudden. They lost their link to their audience, right? And so that's why they're feeling so strange. I mean, obviously not being able to do business is one thing, but losing that platform is huge. And so they're looking for a new platform. They're looking for a way to connect with the audience that they already had. And so that's sort of the big thing is how do we do that, but how do we do that in a way that's not tone deaf? And so that's kind of what we're seeing over here.
Awesome. And Nick, what about you guys? I know you just talked about your clients and prospecting stuff, but what do you guys see with your current clients that are in those potential niches?
The information that Joe shared, all of it, I mean, is really spot on when I put it together with what I'm seeing, but also with like the reps that we have at Google. The emergency service industry, they're running tons of ads. Obviously, my rep is like managing this new type of campaign for them where they're just in charge of running ads for specifically emergency service and home services. And he was telling me just because of the volume of people that are at home in their houses, that is probably the reason, right? Like more people using their AC, running it 24, well, not AC for most places, but, heaters, whatever, 24/7, Joe, just the wear and tear, right, of all these people being at home has had that industry just like start to rocket. So you got to think like that, right? You got to get in that mindset of like, what's different now? What do we have? And what do we have is more people at home. And one other thing that Joe shared with me the other day when we were talking about some PPC stuff, because they manage some clients for us. And, with all the scramble going, we're talking about cancellations and customers that were, worried about what's going on. And Joe pointed out something so obvious to me, but it wasn't obvious at the time because I wasn't even thinking about it, right? I was thinking about the scramble. Like, I mean, totally guilty. A lot of us are. But, running Google AdWords, it's like it's pay-per-click advertising, right? So you don't spend money unless people click on the ads. So canceling those ads just takes them off of the market completely. And that's probably the last thing they want to do, honestly. So that was a really good tip. And great stuff. Good share.
That's a great point. And that does transfer over to those home services, emergency services. And I know, Brian, you were just talking about it. Like, hey, I talk about getting in with the home service businesses and restaurants and things like that. So you're going to share a client-friendly strategy in the home service and in the restaurant niche of what you guys are doing in yours to be able to go out there and prospect and get new clients. So I'll hand it over to you since you have the overall screen. I'll let you let's set it up.
Yeah, you guys, I apologize for anybody watching. We're getting massive bandwidth issues on Facebook and with StreamYard today. So there is buffering. We're doing the best we can collectively to keep everything flowing smooth. So no, thank you, Jeff. Let's see if I can. All right. Actually, I don't really want to watch myself on the live stream. This is not what I'm looking for. Hey, everybody, I'm Brian Anderson. I run a company in Atlanta called Media Mash, and I'm grateful so many of you are here, friends of one or more of each of us. And on behalf of our group, I want to say thank you guys for taking a few minutes to spend with us. Turn your phone off before you do these things, right? So what I want to do is talk to you about something you can do right now in your market. I want to echo what both Joe and Nick said, and Jeff kind of hinted at the beginning, is right now is the time to build relationships. Right now is the time to set your agency up for the long term. I've been doing this since the mid-90s. I've never seen it so easy to talk to clients. I've never seen it so easy to build that initial rapport and relationship. It's unbelievable right now. Now, there's a negative. Obviously, we're all dealing with this period of uncertainty, and depending on where you are, it's a full shutdown, a partial shutdown. There's all these things going on. However, who was it? It might have been Joe. You can't stop. Right now is when you avoid being tone deaf. Somebody said it, and you can't stop. If you stop right now, you're basically quitting not only on yourself, your family, your business, but you're leaving a lot of these business owners in a lurch. And you may be the one person that makes a difference for some of these businesses. So let me share something right now. If I can see if I can get my own screen to share. Let's try this out. PowerPoint. Easier said than done. Hang on. Let's see. No, I don't want to share a webinar. Hang on. This is what you call user error. All right. I'll try my entire screen. Let's see. No. Here we go. Joe or Jeff or somebody, will you guys let me know? Are you seeing this?
We can now see your screen on the side. So this is perfect. So you don't have to see
okay. Awesome. Yeah, I don't have to see myself. I'm looking at slides, not me. It's so much less distracting. So really fast, everybody. I'm going to be very mindful. We're trying to keep this at a manageable length. You don't need me to tell you, right? And none of your businesses need you to tell them. But businesses realize that they actually have a problem right now, and in my 50 years on this planet, this is unlike anything I've ever seen. I was born during the Vietnam War. I got to tell you, this is different than anything that's ever happened, different even than 9/11. So you have to be creative. You have to be very mindful of the conversation that you do have, the pricing, the bundling, everything you do. And right now, the relationships, I would tell you this, the relationships you're going to build today, tomorrow, over the next 6 to 12 weeks are going to completely transform your business. For those of you that have no clients or only a handful, maybe some of you, I see Doug Starks and others here that have a couple dozen or even hundreds. I see a few of you. Doesn't matter where you are. This is the time you're creating the ultimate solution for your agency. You're going to work with these businesses in a mindful manner, right? In a way that's not about typical how much money can I make, right? It's about helping, being part of the solution, right? This is so important. I wrote down a few niches the other day on a call I was doing, and this was group thought with about 400 or 500 members that were live on the call. And I would agree or disagree with most of these. There's a few I'd tweak, but this is not just me. This is hundreds of members around the world. So roofing, I've seen this one firsthand. It's still very good. Lead generation, tactical lead generation, critical. HVAC. Joe is in South Florida. It is 86 in Atlanta, I think, right now. It's a hot one out here. Painting, plumbing. You notice a trend? Home services, right? Electrical, landscaping, pest control. Cleaning is probably on fire. One of our members, David Hebert, owns a cleaning business, and it is usually raging, but I can only imagine right now what's going on. Now, in the insurance niche, I've had like a dozen clients freeze billing with me, but I had my life guys want even more work because what's happening right now is people are scared. They have a little bit of fear and uncertainty, and the life insurance guys are capitalizing on this with their own customer base and with prospects. Health insurance, solid. Restaurants, I'm going to speak about in a second. Dentists, I kind of agree with Joe. I see it as both a good and a bad niche. Obviously, the emergency services, and if you happen to be open, you can really clean up right now. And with the historic mortgage rates, I'm sure Jeff could comment, mortgage is just a phenomenal opportunity right now. Now, bad right now, real estate. Now, it may not be bad for all of you. I know Doug Starks is winning in real estate right now. Automotive, this may be I spoke to a couple of my automotive clients. This may be the worst automotive market in most of the guys or gals that own these companies' lifetimes. So it's unprecedented how bad it is for car dealers. P&C, right? Property and casualty. There's not a lot of new homes closing and a lot of new cars being sold. So a lot of your traditional auto and home insurance maybe isn't as hot. However, there are some that are doing updates. It depends on how you look at it, right? Are you a glass half full, half empty? Fitness. In Georgia, where I live in Atlanta, all gyms were mandated to close by the governor and by all the various mayors. So they've been closed for a few weeks. The only opportunity I see in fitness is more virtual. Any non-essential business, that doesn't really stand out is more than likely closed. Chiropractic is not good right now. Dentists. See, I don't see the opportunity for most dentists, right? Because most of them are shut down other than just a small amount of services. Now, what I want to do, though, is talk to you about something positive. So I want you to copy this and take a screenshot if you want. Whatever you'd like to do, you can do this right now. I didn't dream it up. I always like to give credit. I don't Jeff Smith, one of our members, said, hey, guys, why don't we help restaurants? It's a member, and I don't remember his name, and I hate it right now. However, watch this. What if we did a group buy? And what I mean by that is, what if we did a campaign where we're helping restaurants? We do one email campaign, and the goal is communication to the local community. And we say, hey, on Monday, lunch special on Monday is Brian's Pizza. On Monday evening for dinner, it's Nick's Seafood. Tuesday's lunch, it's Adkins Diner, right? Etc., right? All 14 restaurants listed on one campaign. And the pricing model, I've seen it from our members at $100 a business. One of the other guys is doing $200 a business to be listed. Super inexpensive, and it's a one-time fee, right? And if you look at the model I did where lunch is cheaper than dinner, you can see this generates $2,100 of revenue. I show expenses of $500 because I'm having it fulfilled through a service that'll do it for me. 50,000 emails. A hard cost is $500. So that gets me 50,000 consumer validated emails with a guaranteed open rate in my market. And I net $1,600. Now that's not very much money for what I'm normally doing. But guess what? It's 14 relationships I just built. 14 relationships, 14 families, 14 different vehicles that all have servers and cooks, right? It's giant how big this is. Now imagine if you were to change this from restaurants to home services, and you highlight either 7 home service businesses in different niches, or I wouldn't do 14. I'd probably do 7, and you charge $200 each or $300 each one time. And you did this kind of outbound communication because right now, I don't know if Nick or Joe, one of them said it, or Ben, actually it was Ben in his comments, people feel disconnected. The tether that usually exists, bumping into each other, isn't there. People are isolated and lonely. By delivering with internet marketing communication, right? From the business owners to their local audience. You're keeping them connected. You don't have to charge a lot of money. You can make a nice little profit, right? Most of these businesses are going to sign up week after week. You're not going to have to ask them to be recurring. They're going to want to sign up week after week. It's not about how much money you can make. You'll make a nice little pop, but you are building these relationships. So this is something that I'm specifically doing right now. This is less than 7 days old, this whole campaign. A couple members started doing it. I had oversight into what they were doing. I saw it. I loved it. I saw the results. I've got the same thing going locally in my market, and I'm excited to see where this goes, both with home services and with restaurants, because we have to play a role in making a difference. To the comments that have already been made, you have to look at yourself not as, hey, I'm a right-wing guy, a left-wing guy. You need to be right now a mindful, thoughtful person looking to see how you can add value to the business owner. And if you have that, if your blinders are on adding value, you will win over time. You will win in a big way. And that includes those of you that don't have any clients right now. I want to give credit to Mike Barton, one of my members. Mike designed this simple little flyer so you can get an idea. This is how he's prospecting. And he's using this flyer. He's emailing it out. And what he's doing is super slick. He's highlighting I believe he's working with Nick's directory program, AGM, and Agency Growth Machine. I believe he's a member. I can't remember all. It gets confusing. However, you get the idea. He's reaching out to these businesses with a one-time fee campaign, super inexpensive. If I ever told you to go sell something for $99 one-time fee, you'd laugh at me. But right now, it is an unbelievable relationship builder, guys. And the beauty of this is any of you can do it. Doesn't matter where you live in the world. If you're in America, it's very, very easy because the model works. You can tap into the same kind of data that I'm doing, et cetera. So big shout out to Mike Barton down in Southwest Florida. And last but not least, where's it at? No, that is it on the slide. Let me pull it. Let me pull the actual presentation. How do I kill my screen? There we go. So what I want to do is end with you guys. Think about a niche, right? Think about a niche. Danny Voles, you're such a nice guy. Think about a niche that you can make a difference in your community. In my mind, right now, for anybody, no matter where you live, especially North America, Canada, US, you want home services, you want restaurants. And you are not looking to make a lot of money. You're not looking to crush it. All the things we've always wanted to do, you are not doing. Right now, your goal is to be helpful, thoughtful, deliver value, and be there as a resource. Because you know what? All these things will pass. Your time will come. This little bit of money you make now will be translated into significant income later. You'll have relationships at all these businesses. So just one thing to share. I can't echo what all the other guys have said and Jeff led off with. This is our chance not to go into hibernation, but to really shine and show your skill set. For those of you that are brand new, right? If you're brand new, you still know more than 95% of the businesses out there. And for those of you like my friend Patty Rakowski out of Chicago and so many others I see on here, you guys are the geniuses, not us. When you go out and you meet with the client, you have this knowledge gained over the long term that you could translate it. If there was a degree if we had a university, you'd have your bachelor or master's right now. You guys know what to do. What you need to do is employ it to help businesses. I challenge you around home services and restaurants. So Jeff, thanks for letting me participate and be here, man.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks for helping me host this. And you guys want to learn more about Brian, it's MediaMash.com is his agency site, and BrianAnderson.tv is his other website from there. But before you go any further, I mean, Ben, we talked about this earlier about helping the businesses, maybe give a little bit of advance. How are your thoughts on what Brian's doing? I know he kind of related a few things to you.
I think that's the thing is it's like, once again, there's opportunity and there's folks that are just starving right now for that connection, that back and forth connection that they had with their market, and they're stuck at home. And it's like, there was no ramp down. There was no things just kind of slowed down. Like sometimes we have slow business days. There was none of that. It was all of a sudden we're shutting down, we're done. And so people have that disconnect. And so giving them that ability to connect again is big. And I think that's where we're able to thrive right now, but not in a selfish way. We're able to thrive because we are giving people that connection again. And for everybody out there right now, I think that's the key. It's like when you can give people that connection once that they're missing all of a sudden, they will never forget that. You are in their life for the rest of their business life from that point forward. And I think, just jumping off what Brian said, that's the power right now is as marketers, as people that live here, we have that. We have that daily. We have the ability to connect those dots daily. And yeah, Brian, I think that's the strength of all of those things. So it's huge.
Oh, thanks, man. Nick, for your side of this, you guys overlap a lot. Obviously, you guys talk a lot. We all of us talk almost daily. But I know you talk a lot to Brian, and you guys overlap some of your stuff. But some things do obviously happen differently because he's really heavy into home services and doing the email stuff. How's that relate, and how do you feel kind of about what he's doing in his business and what it can relate to clients?
Honestly, every time I hear Brian talk about stuff, it's like brand new. Like I didn't know he was doing all that. Right? That group buy idea is golden. I mean, that's pure gold.
I was going to send it to you, but when we talked last night, I completely forgot about it. It's like the days, I agree with Joe, the days are long right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so much really good information. To get that information about what Brian's doing with email marketing and hear some of that data and how all that's kind of working out right now is it's really eye-opening for me. One of the really big takeaways I just got from what Brian was talking about, though, is like, I feel a little bit better about everything going on just hearing what he was talking about, because usually when I'm in line with what he's talking about, stuff's going to kind of be all right. So I feel pretty good about that, honestly.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great point. Joe, for you, obviously we transitioned from you over to Brian, what you guys are doing, and easily with that home services, and you overlap a lot in that. So what are your thoughts on what Brian had?
I love it, man. I think that the co-marketing has been around forever, right? I don't see anybody doing it these days, though. Like it's a old and forgotten method, I feel like. And Brian, I think you put on the new spin with email and consumer data, and I just love that. And I think at the end of the day, it's something that obviously the market needs. So you've adapted, like we've talked about. Everybody's talked about that. It's something that they all need, and without you, there's no way that they're doing it, right? They're not going to think of that. They're not going to make that deal. They're not going to put it together themselves. And so I think it's an amazing opportunity, and without you or anybody else on this call, is never going to happen. Like business owners aren't going to come up with that and execute it themselves. So I freaking love it.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe. And Brian, thanks again for your presentation.
No, thank you guys. Yeah. Who's up, Jeff?
So all right. So a lot of us are, we want you guys to understand that you're not alone. You're not isolated in all of this. And that's why we did this live stream, right? So our last presenter is going to be Dr. Ben Adkins, and he's going to discuss about live stream and how to use the technology that you guys are seeing right now, as well as software like Zoom, to go out there and really help these businesses reach out or at least survive during this time while in quarantine. So Ben, I'm going to hand this over to you. You can find him at serialprogressseeker.com. And Ben, it's you're up.
Oh, good stuff. And I hope you guys have had such a good time today. And thanks to everybody that has been a part of this. You guys are great and amazing stuff. And just for our agency, I've taken some of the ideas, and I've been, if you see me look off in the background to my other screen, I've been typing in to my agency side in Slack, talking about that. So it's been really big. So how do you take this model that we're doing right now? Because our whole thing was we need to get out there and we need to talk to our folks, and we need to, kind of show them what we're doing right now, so that there's not so much panic, because right now things are good in terms of being able to reach out to people and help them through a difficult time. And so we're as busy as ever. This is the most busy I've been in a very long time, actually. And I'm typically pretty busy. I know you guys are too. One of the big things that you may be watching this stream and you're saying, okay, this is kind of cool. This is helpful. I've learned a lot of things here. How do you take this model and you take it into a different place that you can benefit from? And so I'm going to walk you through sort of a step-by-step of how you can use something like StreamYard, which we're using right now. For those of you that haven't really thought about the behind the scenes of this yet, we're using a service called StreamYard, and it's excellent. And thanks for Brian that's sort of running he's DJing this in the background. So that's awesome. But StreamYard gives you a lot of really interesting things. And what was so interesting about this that I think you guys will all dig, and I don't want this to turn into a StreamYard sort of setup here, or a promotion. But what happens is we get a link, and somebody sets up the main thing, and then we get a link. How do you turn that into something that's beneficial? Well, let's set the stage. Right now, as I've been talking about, all of these folks have lost their ability to connect with their audience. They're sitting at home. They're sitting inside of their business right now with nobody coming in, and they've absolutely lost their ability to connect with the audience that they connect with on a daily basis. And they need that back, not just from a perspective of they, mentally need it, but from a business standpoint, they need it. One of the things that we're telling our clients right now is if you can't serve your audience like you used to, you've got to serve your audience by communicating with them and keeping them going and letting them know what you're doing to be a part of things. So I'm going to walk you guys through a model of how we're using live streaming in our local setting that is, number one, getting us more leads, building a lot of goodwill, both with business owners and the community at large, but also getting us clients. And it's funny how quickly this turns into people actually signing up for services, either starting right now or starting into 60, 90 days down the road. So first thing is we're going to be using live streaming. And just to give you the platform for this, what we're doing right now is we are acting as the media. And we are acting as the media for a local market. So what I'm doing a lot of, and more importantly, what people in my agency are doing a lot of, is we're putting together these nice little live streams that are interviewing local businesses and helping them to get their story out. These business owners are going through it right now. They have customers that are going through it right now. They're doing things to help. I see business owners all over the country, all over the world right now, stepping up to help the community. I see the community stepping up to help them. And so we've got this interesting thing, but getting the stories out has been something that most of them don't know how to do, that we as online marketers know how to do. And the big thing here is how do you actually put this together? So what we've been doing is if you don't already have one, we already had one set up because we kind of do some of this stuff before all this happened. But set up a local Facebook page. Set up a Facebook page that's very aimed at a local area. So for me, it'd be like Jonesboro Community Support Group. We want a Facebook page that's just a place that we can broadcast from that gives us a platform. That's your platform. Name it the name of your city that you're going after, and then just call it support group, something like that. We do this in several different places. After that, set up a YouTube channel to house the replays of the live streams that you're going to do. You just want a good place that you can get some SEO from YouTube with some of the stuff that you're doing, but also it's easy for people to pull up YouTube on their TVs right now and not just a computer. You're going to be hosting your videos. You're going to be doing them live on Facebook using something like StreamYard. I would highly recommend it. And then we're going to be going to YouTube as well. So here's the interesting thing. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be interviewing local business owners. So what I'm doing right now, what my team's doing right now is we're reaching out to local business owners that we're seeing folks do some good stuff in the community. And what I'm doing is I'm interviewing them. I'm going to give you guys the questions that we basically go through in just a second, but we interview them. And what we're telling them is we are going to get you in front of the local community. We're not only going to get you in front of your normal customers, but we're going to get you in front of customers that you've never been in front of before. And even if you can't get them to spend money with you right now, even if you don't have an offer for them right now that's, relevant, we're going to get you in front of them and tell your story. And this is going to get more people to fall in love with your business. And so what we do is we will first set up our local support Facebook page. And it's just a page that we can broadcast from. We set up the YouTube channel, and then we start reaching out to what we call our traffic infrastructure that's already built in. And it's really easy to get this done right now. Think about all the local yard sale groups that you have in your on Facebook that are like the buy sell groups, the yard sale groups, the mom groups, all of these places where you've got all this traffic that is local centered, that is already there that you can reach out to. And what we do is we reach out and say, hey, listen, we're doing some stuff to highlight community support during the COVID-19 stuff to help businesses. Can we broadcast to your group when we do this every Tuesday night or every Tuesday and Thursday when we interview these business owners? And we give them a schedule. And if they don't let us do it right out, I say, can I throw you $100, every time that for a month, can I throw you $100 so we can do our live stream there? Simple. Super simple. It's just about business support. Most people don't ask us for money because of what's going on, and they understand that people want to see this stuff. And they want to support the businesses. So what we do from there is I've been on the phone. I get on the phone. My team has been on the phone in the different areas. We get on and we start asking questions. Hey, we'd love to interview you. You tell your story. and we'd love to put you in front of an audience. This is where we're sort of rebroadcasting from. This is where it'll be housed after. And so what we do from here is we go through and ask questions. And these are the questions. There's about 6 things that we go through when we interview these folks that turns into anywhere from 15 to 20 to 30 minutes of an interview. Okay. So the first question is this. We introduce the business and the person that is on with us. So either the owner of the business or the manager, somebody that's representing the business. So we introduce them first. And then we go into, what do you think about everything that's happening right now? We sort of have them tell a quick story about, like, this is what we're seeing. This is what, what's going on. It's kind of crazy, but we have a real human moment of what's going on. And this is just me asking the business owner this stuff, or the manager. From that point, I say, I know you guys are doing something cool that's helping folks stuck at home right now, or folks that are struggling right now. Tell me about that. And typically that's a pre-screen question. They know it's coming, so they're ready. They have all these beforehand. From there, after we ask that question, they give their answer. We say, what is your business up to right now during the quarantine? Tell me about what's going on in your business. And this is where they start getting into what they're doing special, what they're doing in terms of that they're selling right now that's different maybe than before. And then number 5, we get into, tell me about a special offer that you have for folks right now that maybe, can help them out. And so this almost comes off like a really smooth webinar. Okay. And, but we're actually helping the business transition into that. And it doesn't come off as salesy. It doesn't come off as pitchy. It comes off as us making people aware of what's actually happening, what businesses are doing. And then at the end, we thank them and tell people where they can watch the replay and get links. So if we set up a website, if we set up a YouTube channel, we've got those things there. Now, what this is doing is it's giving businesses a voice. It's getting us connected to them as agencies. It's very minimal work overall. You can, with StreamYard, if you don't just want to live stream, you can always record a video interview. So I could get on Zoom and do a video interview that's, we could edit it if we wanted to, and then we can actually share our screen and play it as the live stream. But that's what's so nice is we're able to get out there and do that. So what I'm doing right now is I've been doing these interviews. Folks have been doing these interviews in my agency, and we're getting folks to come on and do this. And when they do this, it's very interesting how the community's responding. We're getting a lot of feedback, a lot of good stuff back from people. People are digging that we're giving these businesses a voice. We're getting a lot of people that are talking about how much they love the business anyway, people that are discovering the business. I have some businesses, and I think this is great. We have a lot of restaurants that, of course, are doing takeout right now, but they're also using their food distribution connections to sell food in bulk. And so that's the kind of thing that they've been coming out with that's been big, that they've been able to tell people about. Moral of the story is this. We're taking a need, which is businesses to have a voice, a connection to the community. We're creating that from there. And what's happening is a lot of times when we do these interviews, we're getting folks that right away are wanting to do more business with us, utilize our marketing services. But at the same time, those that aren't ready to do it yet, we've already got them ready to talk 30, 60 days down the road. And so, like I said, this is a big thing for us. We are jumping on, we're talking to them on the phone, we're setting this stuff up, and we are the connection between them and the community on Facebook Live. And people are watching like crazy right now because they're hungry for news. And more importantly, they're hungry for positive news. And that's what we're providing for folks. And so that's the thing. Like I said, I don't want to go any more in depth with it because I want to keep this, as tight as possible. If you guys have any questions, feel free to fire them my way. But that's the key, is giving business owners some place that they can have a voice again and connect with the community. And when you're doing 1 to 2 of these a week right now, at least, and you could literally do one of these every day and people would still love it. But if you're doing 1 to 2 of these a week, and especially in the upcoming weeks, not only are you going to get a lot of leads for your agency that are really built on goodwill, but you're going to build a ton of goodwill in the community. And when you start having that goodwill in the community, it's really interesting, the platform that you can give business owners even after this is over. So hopefully that makes sense. That's what I got. And like I said, it's not a lot of setup. It's not a lot of tech. You get kind of used to how this works. And really, really quickly, you send somebody a StreamYard link in an email, and they can log in and rock this. And it's good to go. And if they're not comfortable with that, most people, this is what's so great, everybody. I can't tell you how many of my friends had no idea what Zoom was before this week, now have a real good idea of what Zoom is. And so a lot of those Zoom interviews where we just send them a link, people are very hip to that too now. So that's what we've been doing, and it's been working in a real big way. So there you go.
That's awesome. And we'll go back to the 5 screen with Brian when he can adjust it. And guys, obviously, right now with everything that's going on, it's not going to be perfect. We're having streaming issues and Facebook Live or YouTube. We'll get the recording out there, right? And it'll work, right? But take advantage of what you've got. And like Ben just said, a lot of people with Zoom or with, they're used to now FaceTiming. They're like, oh, well, I can do this. And you guys they're tech experts in that way. So, Nick, I know you're one of the big tech guys. I got a lot of my live streaming stuff from you and Ben of what I'm doing. Obviously, not all it's here quite yet, but how do you guys do? I know you're using it in your groups. Are you guys using it any other ways, Nick?
No, I mean, this idea that Ben just was discussing was, amazing. I wasn't thinking about that at all. And I think that's one of the geniuses of Ben is just like the ability to think outside the box, come up with something creative like that. Those groups, being able to stream into those groups. I mean, these tools that we have are phenomenal. They can do stuff like that, which is really cool. But those groups are really big oftentimes. And the exposure you can get from something like that, huge. The idea about just throwing them $100, absolutely love that. So yeah, Ben, that's awesome, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah,
it's working well.
It seems to be. Joe, I know you're doing a lot of live streaming stuff with yours. You obviously got your background. You guys use that in your business with your clients, or what are you guys doing?
Dude, I love the idea of the streams. I think your built-in traffic source is brilliant, right? I know people that have done streams like locally and shows and podcasts, but I think they have a problem with built-in traffic, right? And you've been able to solve that with all the yard sale groups, which I think is brilliant. So, easy yes to get your foot in door, built-in traffic method. And then I love the two-parter then in terms of goodwill, right? Goodwill with them for having you on the show, which opens up awesome doors, right? But then the community, like the leverage of the community play, man, I think is absolutely brilliant.
Can I just speak on that one comment we just had real quick? My number one goal right now is to help as many businesses as possible, yes. But my number 2 goal is to end this whole quarantine with a savage beard like Ben Adkins.
It's a lot of work. I mean, there's a whole flat iron thing. I mean, I would love it just came out this way, but it gets real silly real fast.
What do you think? I'm getting there, man. But yours
it looks good. It looks good. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I would look terrible. So somebody asked earlier, like, where's my beard? I didn't realize it was a prerequisite. I'm the one hosting it, so whatever. You guys need all shave. I would look really, really scraggly. Brian, back to live stream and keeping this thing so we can wrap it up. I know you're doing this. You're doing this real time every day, a couple times a day now with clients and as well as webinars and calls. I mean, how are you guys implementing it in your business?
Yeah, we're doing 5 to 7 webinar or live streams a day. Not always an hour, obviously. I'm doing a short one late this afternoon, in a marketing group. But I hadn't thought about it until Ben told me as well. Kind of echoed Nick's comment. I've got a local group with over 40,000. It's super active. What a moron! I cannot believe I hadn't even thought about it. I genuinely didn't. And I could go in there, do one a night for 30 minutes. I don't need the money. I'd rather generate the goodwill, and the money follows. I promise you, the money follows you guys. When you're visible and you're adding value and you're helping and you're delivering a real impact, it all comes together for you. I mean it. It really does. So no, I never thought about it. Ben had told me about it. I'm on his list. Obviously, I read his emails. We talk on the phone. We do things together, etc. But it's truly brilliant. Right now, Zoom stock is going up. Everybody's using it, right? The bandwidth issues now better than ever. So I love it. Thank you, Ben.
Oh yeah, my pleasure, guys. And yeah, I'm with you. 100% do it for goodwill right now. And if you're useful, money follows. It's funny, right? If you're useful, money will follow. So I love it.
It's goodwill. It's law of reciprocity. You're putting something out there, and it'll come back. So we got a few minutes just to kind of go around the horn real quick, because we do want to wrap this up and be cognizant of everybody's time. Anybody want to jump in real quick? Any questions that you guys see that obviously I'm kind of answering a few of them, and you guys are as well. This is not a beard challenge for me because I don't think it would take me. You guys don't want to be quarantined that long.
Yeah.
It would be well into next year before that ever happens for me. You see a scraggly thing, but. Nick, Joe, Brian, Ben, anything you guys want to add real quick before I wrap this up?
Go ahead, Ben. Go ahead.
I'll start. Yeah. I've been in sort of this mode where I'm home a lot. I know you guys are home or or in an office by yourselves a lot sometimes too. It's been really important for me to do little things to keep my head in the right space. And so this shirt that you're seeing today is how I want myself to keep feeling every minute that we've been going through. And every one of you, I wanted to make sure I wore this today so that you understand now's the time to set on the gas. Now is the time to go hard. And that's the thing. It's not go hard and go ask for a bunch of money. It's go hard and connect people and be that interlocking piece of your communities. And, that's the reason we're all here today is we know the place that we stand in this community. We know that we have a lot of people that listen to us for some reason, people that listen to us. And, we are not going to stop. Just because everybody else is home doesn't mean we're going to stop, because we know that people right now need us. They need you all. And so this is my reminder, and I didn't just wear it for the stream. This is something that I've been very open with in my head of I've got to do things in my daily life that remind me how important what we do is, and that we have to keep going, keeping our foot on the gas. And so I implore each and every one of you here that's watching, and maybe watching a little bit later, that you keep doing that too. Don't lose sight of how useful you are in regular times, but especially don't lose sight of how useful and important you are as marketers during this time, because right now you are going to be the reason that some businesses stay around. And please don't lose track of that. And so that's all I have to say.
Awesome. Any last thoughts from anybody else before I jump on and do the last bit?
Yeah, I'm not following that one. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah. Jeff, I just want to say thank you. I know you're going to wrap it up, but I just want to say thank you to Joe, Nick, and Ben, and obviously yourself. But everybody here, when you guys get a chance, even the ones that attended this live, go through the comments. I didn't want to interrupt everybody's presentations, but so many good comments. I could just put them up all day long, but it would have been distracting you guys on this kind of format. Doug Starks had a bunch of them. I mean, there's so many good ones. You want to build a six-figure agency? Read the comments on today's live stream. Take 3 or 4 of them, implement and execute. Hats off to everybody here watching with us. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Jeff.
Nick, any final words, or are you good?
Good hanging out, guys. Yeah, it's been awesome.
Awesome. I didn't want to cut you off before I jumped in. Okay, so for me, a couple things. I want to wrap this up and make sure you guys kind of understand, why we're here, and it's for you guys, the digital agencies, people that are watching this, and to go out and these guys have cut a piece of time out of their day. We've done a little bit of prep together on this to make sure it went as smooth as possible, and obviously some technical things and things got stuck up or hang up for a while. Don't worry about that. The important part is that you were here and that we got things going. Brian alluded to this a little earlier about my issues in the real estate and mortgage market this week. Everybody's affected in some way, shape, or form. This is probably one of the hardest weeks I've had personally, and still was able to persevere and go through. But I learned a lot about those markets and those niches because of things that have happened. But now it's Friday. Monday morning was a completely different feeling than Friday, which is awesome. But everybody that's on this call knows what went on with me and set up, because I leveraged my friends and let them know and got that out there. Even if you're feeling isolated or you got a question that's going on, things like that. And I'm not normally that kind of person, and anybody on this call will tell you that. But it was like, I got to get this out. I got to tell somebody what's going on and just at least speak it, because things do happen for a reason. And for me, it was a really great reason in the end. But you have to go through. Pressure is what makes a diamond, right? It takes a lot of time, a lot of pressure to come out more brilliant, more shining on that. So think about that. And then remember, you're not alone in this. Don't sit back. Use the groups that you're watching this on. Use the threads, use the comments. Guys, reach out. I know I've got comments, people that you've sent messages to me while I'm on this call. Obviously, I'm trying to be respectful, and I will get back to you, but we're broadcasting this, and we'll get this back to you, and we'll get your questions and answered live or after this live. And I know all the guys that are on this call with me, we'll do the same for you. There's some really bright minds on this call, and we're surprising each other on what we're doing, and you guys can see all the little light bulbs go on, all the interactions, because we all think differently. So figure out the guys that you resonate with, follow them, look, see what they're doing, and if something resonates with you, use it in your own business. Now, speaking of businesses, we can't save everybody, but we can do our part, right? Not every single business is going to survive or adapt. Some may just hide their head in the sand, but everybody is on social media. and they're more responsive than ever right now. So reach out and help those businesses and allow yourself to at least put something out there, share something, have your friends share, work with those business owners with, like what Ben was talking about, get in those groups, reach out like what the other guys are doing with their businesses, and put something in action in your business today, or at least have a plan for this weekend or for Monday when you get started on what you're going to do, because together we all rise up by lifting others. And that's what we're here to do. That's what we're doing with this live stream as we go. But there's one key thing I want you guys to remember. A lot of us are talking about working 10, 12, 14-hour days, things like that. Don't forget about the balance with your families. Don't leave them behind because you're running so rampant in your business. I personally, especially with a rough start to the week, was home by 4 or 4:30 every day with kids out in the desert riding around at RZR. I needed that mentally. Know when your mental limit is. Take the break. If you can work 18 hours a day, do it. If you can only work 6 tomorrow, do that. Don't run yourself into the ground doing it, but go out there and help those businesses, because you need to be mentally, spiritually, physically healthy. Take those things. I know Nick carries around a backpack that weighs or a whole vest that weighs 50 pounds, and he's out there walking around with his dog. I know Ben and I are on a Peloton challenge together, and I'm watching him on his bike. Joe was in a meeting yesterday with us sweating. Brian's on the phone from one thing to another, talking to us. So find that balance, but don't forget about your families and things that you have. And also remember, each town, each state, each country is affected a little bit differently. So adapt with what works for you guys. Think outside the box. And I want to leave you with this. Guys, the sun is going to shine again someday. And what's going to happen, right? It's always going to shine. It's going to shine brighter after the storm. So we're in the storm right now, but that cloud's going to break, and you guys are going to be positioned perfectly moving forward for the rest of this year. You're going to have a group of new clients or potential prospects of clients that you can market to, that you are going to be the break in the clouds for them and their sunlight right now, so that we can have the rewards later on by servicing others. So go forward. The state of the local industry is still there. It's good in certain areas. Some of them we're going to have to work a little harder for. So go out there, put in the effort, have faith that this will work, and we will see you guys all on the next call that we do. And thanks for joining us. Take care.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.